Doing creative things, whether it be podcasting or artists or writers or sculptors or actors or directors or anybody.
Nice.
And that show's now over 3 years old and has almost 250 episodes.
Nice. Congratulations.
Yeah, and I've never ever missed a week. That's the other thing I'm super proud of.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. That's a big one. When we started this show, I made the commitment to do a Monday through Friday show every day at 2 p.m. And I managed to keep that schedule for the first year, although it was tough. It was, you know, you have to stop what you're doing every day and 2 o'clock do a show. I'm going to launch this one. Hey, man, it is the Ace Micheals Show. And how's everybody doing today? My guest, Hammond, he is a host of a show himself, and he took the time to join us today. We're going to talk about many, many things that are on his mind and probably on your mind. By the way, hey, if you ever want to be on the show, all you have to do is you can call the number 702-540-3498, or you can email. Hey, man, you can get your email on, doggy. Email beonthebuzz@yahoo.com. Hammond, hello.
Hey, how you doing?
First off, you have a cool name. You have two, like, James Bond names, Hammond Chamberlain.
Yeah.
What's the story with that? Of course, you didn't have much to do with that. That's just how it happened, right?
No, my full name is James H. Hammond Chamberlain. And I'm an only child, and I think my mom wanted to make sure that she used all the names on her one kid.
Right. She's like, I got 4 names in mind. Let me see. Damn it, just use all of them. It's no problem.
and when I was growing up, I realized that there are just way too many Jameses in the world. So I decided I'd go with Hammond because it kind of separates me out a little bit. So
Hammond is very distinctive. I think it sounds like the name of an author, maybe a drug dealer. You know, like, yo, man, Hammond, I'm going to have your money this weekend, Hammond. I'm going to have your money, G.
I have a friend of mine who does a show, and he always calls me Dr. Hammond as a reference to Jurassic Park.
Yes. Oh, right. I missed that one, but I'm nerdy, but not so nerdy. You know what I mean? Like, come on, though. Like, I gotta have a weekend pass on nerdiness a little bit.
Oh,
so
no, you can't know everything,
right? So, what is going on in your world, man? You got your show going on, obviously.
Well, yeah, so I've been doing Beyond the Playlist now since December of 2013. I interview people who make their living in creative fields. I've interviewed directors and actors and podcasters and artists and sculptors. And, I mean, you name it, I've talked to them. And I think the only one I'm missing still is a dancer. I'd like to interview a dancer at some point.
What to you is a good interview? Like, since you've done these interviews, I'm just curious, what do you leave with a really great one? Like, when you're done, you say, man, now that was you know what I mean? Okay,
so there are 2 things that count for me. One is if I can get them to say at some point, ooh, that's a really good question.
The
other thing is if I get done and I feel like I've had a conversation that meant something to both of us.
Are there topics you stay away from? Like, are there certain things you never do? Stay taboo?
I try to keep it as positive and upbeat as possible. Like, I try to keep it all very friendly. I never get into like religion or, you know, politics or any of that kind of stuff. Mostly it's just about what they do. Every now and then they go off the rails. I've had a couple interviews where one guy started talking about holistic treatments for cancer. I had another one go off on political stuff. But, you know, that's them. If they want to leave the conversation there, that's fine. But I just try to keep it all on upbeat, positive, about them questions.
And what was it that ever made you want to do this? Like, not everybody wants to host their own show.
Well, after I got finished doing an episode of Retro Movie Geeks back in October of 2013, I ran upstairs and I just laughed my butt off.
I'm sorry, not just Movie Geeks, but you got to be retro too? Is that a prerequisite?
They keep themselves to a 20-year window. So if it's older than 20 years, they can watch it.
You gotta love this country, man. I love it. Anybody who's screaming about they have no platform, listen, just tell them Retro Movie Geeks. Dog. There is a Retro Movie Geeks group that's out there somewhere. You can't get it out there. Trust me, it can happen. You can get it.
Oh
out
no,
there.
yeah, and I mean it's a great show and it's tons of fun. But I came upstairs and I was like, I got to do a show.
Right.
And I've spent in my real job, I've spent most of my career asking questions and doing interviews. Most of my career. And so getting people to talk is not a hard thing for me to do, typically. And so when I started doing the show, I wanted to talk to somebody because solo mic shows are scary.
Yes, they are.
And I'm not good at talking. I'm not good at talking to myself. And so I decided I'd do this interview show, and it was just a matter of tracking down people I knew. I mean, I'd worked in theater for a while. I'd worked in all these kind of creative fields and played in bands. So I just tapped on friends at first, and then after that, it was just a matter of, hey, who's this person on Twitter? They seem like they'd be willing to talk to me, and you just keep trying. And people like talking about themselves.
Of course, yeah, it's their favorite topic. Wouldn't you agree?
Yeah.
What's your end game in this? Are you thinking that the day comes you become Anderson Cooper, or is that where you go with this ultimately?
For this one, Beyond the Playlist, mostly it's just fun because I know it's a niche show. I know it's a small show. I know it's kind of one of those shows where people who are kind of in the field will watch and do, but the people who don't, they tune in once in a while if I interview someone they like. But I'm not looking at making a career out of this one. It might be something else. It might be something. I mean, who knows? Right now. I'm just having a good time with it.
Let's test you as a guest. Okay, you're on the Ace Michael show today, buddy. You're not hosting. You're a guest. So you mentioned music. Let's test you a little bit. I want to ask you, what do you think could be improved about the music business as we know it in 2017?
What can be improved about it?
Yeah.
Man, that's a huge question because for me,
that's what I do.
Yeah. No, that's one of those things though, because for me, I feel like if you have something you want to put out, you've got no excuses at this point.
That's a good point.
Because technology, the internet, Bandcamp, there are all these places where if you've got something to put out, then you've got no excuses. But as far as the music business itself, I think they need to stop treating the listeners and the fans and the consumers as if they're idiots. They need to let the musicians challenge us again because back in the 70s and 80s they were doing these concept albums and there were real musicians who were putting things out and the people found them and enjoyed them because they challenged us as listeners. Styx or ELO puts out albums and every album had some overarching theme and they made us think about the lyrics. They made us dig into what they meant. Nowadays, they don't do that. They repeat the same 6-7 lyrics over and over again, and rarely do you get a head scratcher of a song.
And you're saying this is for all genres of music because you seem like a guy that would listen to a little bit of everything. I mean, you seem like that. I'm making a judgment. But you're saying that's for everybody right now.
Yeah, I think if you stop treating us like we're idiots, things will get better.
And so you got started in the music business. What do? You play drums? You play guitar, bass?
Well, when I was in college, I played harmonica professionally, oddly enough. And then, I did some odd jobs, throughout my career that way. But recently I've been learning how to play the Chapman Stick.
Ooh, look at you. The Chapman Stick. I know a little bit about the Chapman Stick. and just for you guys who don't know, the Chapman Stick is not what you do to her on a good date night. That's not what we're talking. That's a whole nother show, really, actually, which we'll do after this one. But, the Chapman Stick it's kind of a complicated instrument. But, man, the guys that can play it sound so good. Wow. Yeah,
I've actually interviewed a whole bunch of the guys who play them, and I also interviewed the guy who developed and created the thing.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, I wonder if we know the same guy. Is this guy named Alan?
Well, it's Emmett Chapman.
Chapman, okay.
Is the creator, but I've interviewed Rob Martino and Don Schiff and Kevin Keith. I mean, just world-class Chapman Stick players from all over the world.
What city are you in? Aren't you in L.A.?
No, I'm in Salt Lake.
You're in Salt Lake. Okay. There was a guy that I met in L.A. Now, again, people in LA sometimes they, how can we put it, alternative fabricate. But I thought this guy told me that he had invented the Chapman Stick, but maybe he had said something like something else. But no, Chapman Stick is an instrument. I greatly respect you for playing it. That's a tough gig, but it's a very, very cool instrument.
Yeah, I've been playing since 2010, and I can still say I suck, and I'm proud to say I still suck.
Nice. Nice one, mate. Nice one. So if somebody wants to find your show, you did a great job on your first tryout as a guest, by the way. You were passed with winning.
Oh, thank you.
You're a great guest. Things don't work out, you can always be a guest. Okay? So you did great on that. Where do we find your show? We want to watch it. We want to share and like it. We want to be big supporters of what you're doing.
Well, the best way to find anything I do is just go over to jhammondc.com. And it's J and then Hammond, HAMMOND Chamberlain, or C, then .com. Or check out at jhammondc on Twitter, or the Soundography podcast is the other show I do, which is far more acceptable. It's a crash course in music, one band at a time.
Very nice. Very nice. So J Hammond C, and it's Hammond like the organ. I'm surprised you don't play the Hammond organ.
No, I tried keyboards for a while. It's just,
It is a mindset.
Not my gig.
Yeah, it's a different mindset. Those guys are walking around with a lot of stuff in their head, those keyboard players.
Yeah.
Well, listen, Hammond, it has been my big pleasure to speak with you today. And one more time, give the people the contact information for you, because I know they're going to want to be in touch with you.
All right, it's at jhammondc on Twitter or jhammondc.com. We'll take you to everything you need to know.
And that is what's up. Hey, man, it's been the Ace Michaels Show. My good friend Hammond, who is Chapman Stick player, man. He's one of those cats. So check him out, man. And you know what I say, live the life you love. Love the life you live.